Clicking my buttons. Good morning, everybody. We're talking today about conflict. And I want to start by asking you all, have you ever had a conflict with someone? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, but if you don't know what a conflict is exactly, it's another word for disagreement. So have you ever had a disagreement with someone? I certainly have. And I'd be willing to bet that every single person listening right now has too. A lot of the time, it might be a simple conflict where no one gets hurt, like disagreeing with your partner about which shelf the tea should go on. Oh, he used a personal experience. Easy to get past if you talk to each other about it. Sometimes it can be a more difficult conflict, like when people who love each other think they've been treated badly by each other. No matter what your conflict is, it gets easier to handle if you're open to talking about it. There's a poem that talks about that I'd like to share with you. It's called A Poison Tree by William Blake, and this is how it goes. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. It's right there at the beginning of the poem. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. Wrath, if you don't know, is another word for very angry. So right there it says they were angry with their friend, and when they talked about the anger and probably why they were angry, the anger stopped and they were able to be friends again. The whole rest of the poem talks about what happens when we don't talk about conflict. I was angry with my foe. I told it not, my wrath did grow. It then talks about how the anger grew and grew and grew and grew. It talks about how, like a tree, the anger would not stop growing. Because that's the thing about anger and conflict. Silence, not talking about it, is like sun and water to a tree. It makes the anger and the conflict grow. And when it grows like that, it gets to a point where it becomes like a poison. And that's just what happened in the poem. The conflict grew and it twisted inside the author and the person they were angry with, until the very end, when the author was happy to never see their foe again because they had died eating the poison fruit of the anger tree. Now, I don't know about you, but I would much rather stay up at the beginning of the poem. If we can talk about our anger and our hurt, it becomes much, much easier to get past it. And I know that can be hard because hurt and anger can be such overwhelming feelings. It can be really hard to actively push yourself through or around the anger long enough to talk about the conflict, but it is worth trying, and it is worth doing because it can save a relationship you really care about. So how do we do it? How do we push through and actually talk about our conflicts? I'll be honest with you, I'm still working it out. It's still something that's really hard for me to do. So I can't tell you how. And if I did, my ways might not work for you. It's something you have to figure out. Like anything else though, there are many tips, tricks, and strategies out there that might help you to figure it out. So now I'm going to pass it on to our Minister Wayne, who will share some of those with you. Thanks for listening.